It's the echo. Yeah.
Jaya Radha Madhava Sundari Jaya Radha Madhava Sundari
Hey Ram.
All glories to the Son. All glories to the Son. All glories, all glories, all glories to the Lord. Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to the Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 4, entitled The Characteristics of Rishabhadeva, text number 16. These are in Gadya form, which means prose form. We don't have a specific meter, that is, as I know. We'll try to recite. Chapter 4 of the 5th canto, text number 16. Yadyapi svaviditam
Viditam Brahman
yam brahmanai darshitamargena
Yam Brahmane Daristamagena
adi upaye janatam shasadam
Adivirupaye Janatam Manishasha
yadyapi svaviditam
Yadyapi Swaviditam
sakala dharmam brahmanam sakala dharmam brahman guhyam
Dharmam Brahman Bhuyam
darshitamargena
Daristamagena
Kamadivi upayai janatam manushashasa
Adivirupaye
Yadyapi svaviditam
Yadyapi Swaviditam
Brahmam guhyam
Dharman Dharma Bhuyam
Chitamangena
Daristamagena
Rupayai Janatam Shastra
Samadhibhirupaye Janatam Manusasasha Yadyapi Swaviditam Sakala Dharman Brahman Bhuyam Brahmane Daristamagena Samadhibhirupaye Janatam Anusasasha
Yadapi swavitam
Yadyapi Swaviditam
sakala dharmam ramam
Sakala Dharmam Brahmam
brahmane darshitamagena
Brahmane Dashita Margena
tvaye janatam anushashata
Samadhibhirupaya Janatam Anusasasha
Mandali.
यद्यपि स्वविदितं
Yadyapi
Yadyapi
swavitam
Swaviditam
धर्मं ब्रह्मभूयं
sakala
Sakala
dharmam
Dharmam Brahman Bhuyam
समार्गेण
brahmane
Dashita Margena
निरूपये जनकामनुशासास
Samadhibhirupaya Janatam Anusasasa
Please repeat. Yadyapi
Yadyapi although Swaviditam known by him Sakala Dharma
which includes all different types of occupational duties.
which includes
include
all
all different types of occupational duties.
Brahman,
Brahman,
Vedic instruction,
Vedic instructions.
Guhyam,
Guhyam,
very confidential.
very confidential. Brahmane, by the Brahmanas.
Darshitamargena,
Adeshita Margena,
show,
by the path showed.
Adivihi,
Samadhibihi,
Sama, Diksha, controlling the mind,
Controlling the
controlling the
mind.
mind,
controlling
controlling the senses,
Controlling the senses.
practical tolerance,
Intolerance.
so on.
and so
And
on.
Playing,
Playing
playing
by the means. Jnatam,
relative
people in general.
people in general.
Adisasasam,
Consciousness,
Lord
Lord Lord.
and purport given by Shyamananda, Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Hi.
Translation, please repeat. Although
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 Lord Rishabhadeva
Lord
Lord Rishabhadeva
Rishabhadeva
knew everything about
everything
knew
about
everything about
Vedic knowledge,
confidential
confidential
Vedic
Vedic
knowledge,
knowledge,
which includes
Which
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 includes
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 information
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 about all
about
types of occupational
all
duties.
types
all
of
types of
occupational duties.
occupational duties.
He still maintained himself
He
He
still
still
maintained
maintained
himself
himself
as a Kshatriya
as a
as a
Kshatriya
Kshatriya
and followed
and
and
followed
followed
instructions
the
the
instructions
instructions
of the
of
Brahmanas
the Brahmanas
as they
as they
related
are related
to
to mind control,
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 mind control,
mind
mind control,
control,
sense control,
sense
sense
control,
control,
tolerance,
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 so forth.
and so
and so on.
forth.
Thus,
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 the
he
people
he
rules
ruled
according
the people according to the system of
Krishna Dharma, which
which
joins
enjoins
Brahmanas
that the
that the
Brahmanas
Brahmanas
instruct
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 yes,
the
the
Kshatriyas,
Kshatriyas,
the Kshatriyas administer to the state
the
and the
Kshatriyas
Kshatriyas
administer to the
administer to the
state
state
through the Vaishyas and Shudras.
through the
to the
Vaishyas.
Vaishyas and Shudras.
Purport. Although Rishabhadeva knew all the Vedic instructions perfectly well, he nonetheless followed the instructions of the Brahmanas in order to perfectly maintain the social order. The Brahmanas would give advice according to the Shastras, and all the other castes would follow. The word Brahma means perfect knowledge of all activities, and this knowledge is very confidentially described in the Vedic literature. Men trained perfectly as Brahmanas should know all Vedic literature, and the benefit derived from this literature should be distributed to the general populace. The general populace should follow the perfect Brahmana. In this way, one can learn how to control the mind and senses, and thus gradually advance to spiritual perfection. यद्यपि स्वविदितं सकलधर्मान् ब्राह्मणं गुह्यं ब्राह्मणैः दर्शितमार्गेण समाधि उपयैः जनताम् अंशशास्त्रम्. Although Lord Rishabhadeva knew everything about confidential Vedic knowledge, which includes information about all types of occupational duties, he still maintained himself as a Kshatriya and followed the instructions of the Brahmanas as they related to mind control, sense control, tolerance, and so forth. Thus he ruled the people according to the system of Varnashram Dharma, which enjoins that the Brahmanas instruct the Kshatriyas, and the Kshatriyas administer to the state through the Vaishyas and Shudras. Umagyanamidamidasya Jnananjanasalaya Chakshurmilitam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prajani Nirvisesha Srivadi Vashyatri Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasti Gaura Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So here, Srila Rishabhadev, Lord Rishabhadev, is described as Sakala Dharma Viditam. There are many different types of dharmas, broadly categorized into two, Swadharma and Paradharma. What is Swadharma? Swadharma means occupational duty that you have acquired through the nature. That is called Swadharma. And in Swadharma, you have many other dharmas, as Krishna says in Bhagavatam, Kula Dharma, Jati Dharma, Kshatriya Dharma, Brahmana Dharma. There are so many dharmas. They are all part of one's own occupation. And there is another dharma which is called Paradharma. What is Paradharma? Savai Pumsan Paro Dharmo Yeto Bhakti Adhokshaje Ahayuti Apratimata Yayatma Suprasidi. What is Paradharma? Paradharma means uninterrupted, unmotivated, devotional service to Krishna, who is addressed in that verse as Adhokshaja. See, Adhokshaja means, like I was explaining one of the Chaitanya sessions, there are three meanings for Adhokshaja. One is called Aksha, means the senses. Prominently, eyes are known as akshas, like Kamalaksha, like that. So, Adhokshaja means one who can never be seen by one's abilities is called Adhokshaja. That is one meaning. And the other meaning of Adhokshaja is Adha Krutaha Akshaja Jnanam iti Adhokshaja. Aksha means not only eyes, all the senses are known as akshas. And what comes from the senses is known as akshaja. What comes from the senses? Mostly knowledge acquiring senses. Even though we have the karmendriyas, these karmendriyas are the subsidiaries to the jnanendriyas. Because we go to work, we do so many things using karmendriyas. Karmendriyas, they complement or assist the jnanendriyas to get knowledge. So what is that? We have akshajas. So what is gained by the senses is called knowledge. And adhakrita akshaja jnanam iti adhokshaja. That means the knowledge that you ultimately gain from your senses can never be understood to understand Krishna in that sense. This is called adhokshaja. So now, what is the first meaning? One who can never see Krishna by eyes, in that sense means physically or through karmic activities, you can never see Krishna. And the second is, through jnana, you cannot see Krishna. Through jnana. That means once you acquire some knowledge from the senses, you can never see Krishna. Because Krishna is beyond that. And the third is called, Srila Prabhupada explains, in the Akshaja, those who are familiar with either Hindi or Sanskrit letters, the first letter, mostly in any language, is called A, something like that. And the last letter is called Ksha. That's the last letter. So, what contains between A and Aksha is the entire knowledge that you can gain in this creation, isn't it? there is no knowledge which is beyond these two words. There is no English language between A and Z, isn't it? Similarly, there is no Vedic knowledge which is beyond A and Akshara. So, Adhokshaja means practically there is no knowledge exists in this entire creation to know Krishna. One, from your own individual bodily perspective, you can never see Krishna. And the second, even if you cultivate knowledge using your own senses, he is still beyond your sense perception. And the third is, even if you accumulate the entire knowledge cultivated by every jiva that between A and Akshara, you can never see Krishna. This is called Adhokshaja. And for that person, your devotion must be uninterrupted and unmotivated. That means you can imagine why Krishna's name is mentioned as Adhokshaja. Means even though you know that you can never understand Krishna using whatever faculties that you have or others have in that sense, but still performing devotional service without any motive, without any interruption, that is called paradharma. That is called paradharma. See, every devotion is not paradharma. Every devotion is not paradharma. And at the same time, not all liberated people also perform paradharma. This paradharma also different grades, isn't it? See, who is a liberated person? One who is out of the sufferings of these three modes of material nature, he is a mukta jiva, isn't it? If you are not suffering from the three modes of material nature, he is a mukta jiva. So, but who is a nitya siddha? That means who is performing this, paradharma? Actually, when you have some domain and there is the highest and there is a starting point and there are so many intermediate levels. Try to understand. In every domain you have 3 points. The beginning, the end and the medium, isn't it? Even on the platform of liberation, there are different grades. And the topmost person who performs paradharma is Srimati Radharani. Even amongst the gopis, there are still some level of self-conception that exists even among the gopis. But that self-conception is beyond our perception from our point of view. Never ever think that is something material. Try to understand. If a person is suffering from fever and if he is cured of the fever, then what happens? He is a mukta jiva. Mukta jiva means mukta jiva from fever perspective. But if you see all the healthy people come together, if you see all the healthy people bring together, then every healthy person is experiencing happiness in a different degrees, isn't it? Not everyone experiences in the same way. Do not ever think that all the mukta jivas experience in the same ways. No. Just like every healthy person experiences their happiness according to their nature. Similarly, even in pure devotional platform also, different devotees experience their relationship with Krishna in their own bhavas. This is called Param Bhava Majananta. This is called Param Bhava Majananta. So, try to understand here the paradharma. So, here Vrishabhadev is Swaviditam Sakala Dharma. Sakala Dharma means he knows what is Swadharma and he knows what is Paradharma. Only when someone knows what is Swadharma and Paradharma, they can manage themselves and others properly. Sometimes we mistakenly understand that, we don't have to worry about this body Swadharma because this Varnashrama Dharma is not essential, isn't it? Varnashrama Dharma is not essential because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Iho Bhagya, means, during the Ramananda Mahaprabhu Samvad, the famous Madhya Lila, he says, what is the goal of life? Mahaprabhu asks Ramananda Rai, what is the goal of life? Then Ramananda Rai says, Varnashrama Charavata Pumsam Purushena Paratuma Vishnu Arajyate Pumsam Nani Tattosha Karanam. So, all the Varnas and all the Ashramas, whoever is practicing, their ultimate goal is to satisfy Vishnu. And if there is no other cause, then Mahaprabhu says, go a little bit beyond. This is external. See, what is external for Mahaprabhu is very much internal for us. Try to understand. Sometimes we think, oh, this Brahmana, Vaishya, Kshatriya, and then we have to do devotion according to our Swabhava. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says this is external, but ours is Paradharma, ours is Parambhavam. What is that Parambhavam? Ahaipati, Apratihata. So that means I don't need to focus on this, whatever, Varnashram Dharma. Let me focus directly on to the Paradharma. No, that is very dangerous. How dangerous it is? It is as dangerous as driving a motorcycle on Ganges. Driving a motorcycle. I have seen practically those who come to my, some, devotees or anyone, if they want to go from Mayapur to Navadvip, they come by nice expensive bikes, bullets, and you have a normal boat. It's not a big thing that you see, a normal boat, which can go probably a kilometer, a few kilometers in an hour, isn't it? But this bike can go, what speed? Maybe 100 kilometers per hour. So, just because, I'm a very great person, I have this bullet, I can go at 100 kilometers per hour. What is this useless wooden boat? Because I have capability to cross Ganga. Can you cross Ganga using bullet, even though how expensive it is? No. Your bullet, and whoever is with you, everyone will be drowned. Next time, no one will buy bullet and they come to Ganga. Have you seen? Sometimes if you see people, becoming failure with something, and people stop using, just like when Malaysia Airlines had this problem, MH370, still I don't know what happened to that. After that, many people said, Prabhu, which airline? Not certainly Malaysia Airlines. See, nothing wrong with Malaysia. Actually, that is the safest airline to go after that, because they make sure that everything is paka, isn't it? Suppose in some big cities, I don't know about other countries, but in India, we have these terrorist attacks. So whenever there is any blast, they say, oh, don't go to that area. Actually, you can go to that area because the highest security will be maintained in that area. So what I am trying to say is, this bike is a swadharma. This you have got according to your capacity, isn't it? This according to your capacity, you got it. But to cross Ganga or to cross Bhavarnava means the ocean of the material nations, or Virajanadi. Virajanadi means it's the same as the material ocean. To cross that, you need this. You need this along with that. You understand? You need this and then this boat also. So that you can go on the boat with your bike, then after that you can have your own speed, isn't it? So that's why this Varnashrama Dharma is very important. And who is the leader of Varnashrama Dharma? A Brahmana. So here Lord Rishabhadeva knew everything about confidential Vedic knowledge, which includes information about all types of occupational duties. He still maintained himself as a Kshatriya and followed the instructions of the Brahmanas. Have you seen? Even though Rishabhadeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he knows Sakala Dharma Viditva. Viditva means upon even knowing everything, the conclusion of the all Vedic literature, he still followed the Brahmanas in relation to mind control, sense control, tolerance and so forth. See, this is what Brahmana. See, it's not, Rishabhadeva is learning about the principles of bhakti from these Brahmanas. Actually, he is practicing this Varnashrama Dharma, learning from this Brahmana to practice how to do mind control, to sense control, and then tolerance. Now, this is the humility of Rishabhadeva, isn't it? What is humility in this context? Even upon knowing everything, even practicing, but still trying to seek advice and following their instructions, it is a humility. It is humility, isn't it? So what we understand from this is, sometimes you may be very capable. Sometimes you may be very capable. you will not know your capability, or even others will not know your capability until that capability is counteracted by a viruddha swabhava. Viruddha swabhava means, viruddha means something opposite. Suppose, if I know how healthy I am, I know that I am very healthy, my immunity is very good. But the moment when you are exposed to some infection, and then when you fall sick immediately, then you know that how immune you are to disease and how strong you are, isn't it? Always try to remember. That's why people try to avoid this viruddha swabhavas. Viruddha swabhava means, suppose if you think you are a very humble person, when some arrogant person comes, we try to avoid. Now we try, sometimes we try to create some kind of a conflict with them. And if you are a rich person and you don't want to meet poor people, and if you are a very strong person, you don't want to meet weaker people, because you maintain your own clout. But your own capability will not be known until that capability reaches the viruddha swabhava. In this case, see, when someone knows everything, he doesn't need to ask any consultation, isn't it? He doesn't need to ask anyone. This is viruddha, isn't it? Only when someone doesn't know, he goes and asks advice, isn't it? That is natural. But upon knowing everything, why he is going and asking means, this is called Vinaya. This is called Vinaya. Vinaya means humility. What is humility here? What is humility? Even upon knowing, he is still consulting Brahmanas. This is called humility. And this is important. That means, you may be perfecting everything, but still you try to follow the system. Prabhupada says in the purport, why he is doing that? To perfectly maintain the social order. What is the meaning of perfectly maintaining the social order?
An example.
See, perfectly maintaining the social order, varnashrama, means it's not only ensuring Brahmanas doing their duty or other Varnas doing their duty, but guiding everyone towards satisfying Vishnu is called perfectly maintaining the order of the Varnas, isn't it? So now, who can do that? Only when you are Sakala Dharma Viditva, then you can do that. Then you can do that. That's why, even in our devotional life, we have to come across viruddha swabhavas to understand our own capabilities, isn't it? Suppose, if you want to know how humble you are, then you meet an arrogant person, isn't it? See how humble you are, how do you know, Prabhuji? Simply sitting quiet. Even if you take some intoxication, you sit quietly, very humble. So how do you know you are humble? When some arrogant person comes and then challenges you, then you know how humble you are, isn't it? You pinch him, then you know how humble you are. How rich you are, when a poor person comes and begs you, please give some money, then you feel. See, your richness is not known or appreciated when you only mix with rich people, isn't it? You have to mix with viruddha swabhavas. How good devotee you are? How good devotee you are? This is a very catchy point. How good devotee you are? That doesn't mean that you go and associate with all these people. Yeah. But you will have to associate with these people by providence and due to your swadharma, isn't it? So never cross swadharma in that sense. Your swadharma itself will take you through the viruddha swabhavas. But we should not avoid it. We should not avoid it. So, what is humility means in this context? Even after knowing, when he is taking guidance from others, this is an ornament for that. Ornament, you know. In Sanskrit you have alankaras. In any language you have alankaras. Alankara means like Subal Prabhu's face is compared to moon. Moon is very beautiful. He's good looking. Moon is beautiful. So Chandranana, you know, Hindu Vadana, you know, like Mahaprabhu is Mayapuru Chandra, you know, Krishna Chandra, because sometimes you compare, you know, someone's face with the moon. Why? Because it's called Alankara. So, but moon is different and the face is different. But we join these two. This is called Alankara. So similarly here, what we have to know, we also have to follow these alankaras. What is alankara? Ornament. What is an ornament of a humble person? Manifesting his humility is an ornament for him. Try to understand. Suppose, if you have so much riches, isn't it? Unless you manifest riches, you will not be known as a rich person, isn't it? So much money is there, so much gold is there, say for a bank account. But if you are not wearing, how people know that you are humble? Then the question is, do people have to know that we are humble? Yes, they need to know that you are humble. Then they can come and learn how to become humble. Sometimes people think that, oh, I don't want anyone to know that I am very humble. Then that is also another form of arrogance. Who cares? Why do I have to care others whether I am humble or arrogant? I don't know. You are in a society. You give an example to others. So if you have some virtue, try to manage and manifest that virtue. How do you manage or manifest that virtue? Only by the Viruddha Sabhava. Only by the Viruddha Sabhava. That means a devotee manifests himself as humble only through his dealings with the opposite elements when he is challenged of his humility or when he meets an arrogant person. Then you don't have to broadcast. Just by how you deal with the arrogant person, then people come to know how humble you are. Then when people come to know how humble you are, then they come to you and they take your association, they learn from you. This is called Paravidya. Paravidya means you actually demonstrate and let others to come and learn from you. This is called Paravidya. This is a devotional practice that we have to imbibe. So, what is the practical point that we take home from this? That means never be hesitant to expose yourself to Viruddha Swabhavas, because they are the elements of opportunity given to you by Krishna to manifest your own good qualities. And when they manifest your own good qualities, then what happens? They become alankaras to you. Alankara means, oh, he is very humble. One more golden necklace. Or, how strong you are. How strong you are? When someone comes and then punches you, then if you punch back, then you are a very strong person. He is a strong person. They become alankaras. Alankaras means ornaments. So, we practice something to become perfect. But when a perfect person still practices, that is an ornament for him. You get the point? You practice something to become perfect. But when a perfect person practices, that becomes an ornament. Like when Mahaprabhu teaches bhakti, even though he is Krishna himself, to others, oh, that is a glory. So Krishna has a title. What is it? Bhakta Avatara. Actually, Avatara is given only to Vishnu sponsors, isn't it? There is no kind of Bhakta Avatara in that sense. But Mahaprabhu is Bhakta Avatara. That becomes an alankara, is ornament. Because he is practicing bhakti himself, isn't it? He is practicing bhakti himself. So then that is the meaning of perfectly maintaining the social order. So what is the meaning of perfectly maintaining the social order? Not only ensuring whether all the varnas are doing their own duties according to their guna and karma, but guiding them towards the ultimate goal of varnashram dharma, which is pleasing Vishnu, Vishnu Toshanam, pleasing Vishnu. Then Srila Prabhupada says, the Brahmanas would give advice according to the Shastras, and all the other castes would follow. The word Brahma means perfect knowledge of all activities, and this knowledge is very confidentially described in the Vedic literature. Very important statement, very confidentially described in Vedic literature. When something is present in the Vedas, how come it becomes confidential? Prabhu, I have confidentially written something on the board. You understand this concept? Prabhu, I have written something very confidential. Where is that? It's on the board. How come? You say it is confidential, and then you say it's already written on the board, or a book or whatever. How it becomes confidential? It is so confidential, even if you go and read what is there on the board for 100 million years, you still can't understand. This is called, what's called in English? cryptic language. You know what is the meaning of cryptic? Cryptic means code language. So Vedas are code language. Even if you become the greatest of the great Sanskrit scholar, you can never understand Vedas because Vedas have to be revealed to you. Vedas have to reveal themselves to you through the mercy of Krishna, which flows through the spiritual master. So that's why the very confidential aspect of the Veda is bhakti, that is guhyatamam. Krishna says, what is the most confidential knowledge? What is guhyatamam? What is the most confidential knowledge? Rajavidya, Rajavidyam, Pavitram, Idamuttamam. What is confidential knowledge? You are not the body. What is more confidential? Very good. What is the most confidential? Jivere Swarupa. Good see. This is called most confidential knowledge. But can you find in the Vedas? Vedeshu Durlabam Adurlabam Atma Bhaktam. Even if you turn the pages from back to back, you cannot find Bhakti or Krishna in the Vedas. But where do you find Atma Bhakta? Atma Bhakta means from his own Nija Bhaktas, from his own pure devotees, you can find the Bhakti. So, here, this is confidentially described in the Vedic literature. So, when something is confidential, how to extract it? You getting that point? When something is mentioned confidentially, how do you get it? That means only the person who actually written or composed should come and reveal to you, isn't it? That is the meaning of cryptic. So Vedas are written in such a way that the message is not available to unqualified people. What is the meaning of unqualified people? Who is qualified and who is unqualified? Do we have to distinguish who is qualified and who is unqualified? Yes. We need to distinguish who is qualified and who is unqualified. Why? The distinction has to be done to make unqualified as a qualified, not to derogate the unqualified, isn't it? The management, the gradation should be there for what? For what purpose? To make things better, we should actually divide sections, isn't it? So, who is qualified and who is not qualified? The qualified person is someone who takes something and uses for the benefit of himself and others. It's called qualified. Who is unqualified? Who uses something for his own destruction and for society's destruction. Just like medical knowledge. To get medical knowledge, you need to be very qualified, isn't it? It is not, the admissions are not available to common people, isn't it? You have to work hard. Similarly, nuclear science also. It is given to only confidential people. Why? So that they don't misuse that. Similarly, Krishna consciousness also is the confidential aspect of the Vedic knowledge, which is not easily available. So then we say, Prabhuji, if it is not easily available, why are we encouraging people to take the book, to read the book, to practice bhakti? Why are we encouraging? If it is so confidential and very difficult to understand. What's the answer? Why are we encouraging?
So they can become qualified.
Yes, they can become qualified. Then what is the means to become qualified? That means, see what happens. This is a very important point to note. When you come to, for example, this board, okay, I said that I have written something, and then you want to get something from this board, and then you are reading. If you are not getting, then what happens? You continue trying, isn't it? You continue trying to understand what is in the book. Then when you continue trying what is in the book, then people understand that you are qualified. So our qualification is not to gain the knowledge, but our qualification is to develop sincere desire to gain knowledge. Because no one can gain knowledge. You can only become a medium of knowledge transmission but you can never become a repository of jnana or any other shakti. One should know this. That is the meaning of instrument. What is the meaning of instrument? Whenever cook is in the kitchen, when he is making some sabzi or whatever, only at that time the instrument is used. As such, the instrument is perfect, but it will be used only for a purpose by somebody. Similarly, if you have knowledge or power or any of these aishwaryas, you can only become a transitory medium to manifest these according to the desire of the person who is a repository of all these opulences. That means you can never think that I have knowledge. You can think, if Krishna allows knowledge to flow through me, then what happens? I will be useful for some purpose. You can never, actually, we are not, our bodies, our constitutional position is not meant to store anything. It's not meant to store anything. We only meant to become an instrument, because an instrument can never claim the ownership or the craftsmanship of something, isn't it? So, from this, what we understand from this point of confidential aspect of the Vedic literature, that means please keep trying. The very fact that you are trying continuously means you really want to know that, isn't it? Your sincerity of purpose is your qualification. Is the qualification. What is that? Sincerity of the purpose. So when we say that, oh, you become very sincere, Prabhu, you become very sincere, you become a pure devotee. What is the meaning of pure devotee?
Given up trying.
Huh?
It's not given up trying, it's trying.
Yeah, pure devotee means you have no other intention to become the bhokta of the seva, isn't it? That is a pure devotee. See, you try to understand. You don't need to become a pure devotee, you don't become a pure devotee not necessarily by practicing pure bhakti. Even to develop, to practice pure bhakti, you will be known as pure bhakta, isn't it? You getting this point? So what is that? Sincerity of the purpose means you don't demonstrate your sincerity by working, rather you demonstrate your sincerity for the purpose of that work. So that's why seva, that's what Prabhupada says, devotional service. There are two aspects. This is called samasa. This is dvandva samasa. That means bhakti is there and service is also there. Devotional service. If there is no devotion in the service, then what happens? It becomes a punya karma. Suppose you are coming to the temple and doing something, there is a punya karma, no doubt about it. But if there is any devotion, that becomes bhakti. That becomes bhakti. So that's why you transcend even punya karma. So then Prabhupada says that in this way, one can learn how to control the mind and senses and thus gradually advance to spiritual perfection. So always we should remember, spiritual perfection is a gradual process. It is a gradual process. Then, does it mean that we have to procrastinate because it's a gradual process? So how do we reconcile the gradual aspect and the procrastination? Oh, Prabhu, it is a gradual process. Maybe I've done whatever I do. Maybe next slide. Next slide is okay. You can continue. So what is the aspect of this gradual process? Yeah. How do you know that bhakti is a gradual process? Okay, I'll give this example. How do you know that a person is gradually moving?
One step at a time. It's progress. Moving from one.
Moving means not stopped. Moving. So, gradual progress of bhakti means not stopping your practices of bhakti is gradual. The speed may be different, isn't it? The speed. See, a person is gradually moving at a speed, isn't it? Speed is a vector, isn't it? Displacement is a scalar. Sorry, I don't know. What is vector?
Speed and direction. It's like speed and direction.
Yeah, the direction. The prominent aspect is direction, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when you say bhakti, it is a vector. Service is scalar. Scalar means no direction, it's there. It's there. It's moving. Where it is moving, I don't know. Where you are going to, I don't know. Why you are doing this service, I don't know. What you will get from this service, I don't know. But doing so much, is moving. Yes, he is also progressing on the path of piety. That's absolutely fine. But that is not called gradual. See, gradual doesn't mean not every movement is known as velocity. Little bit of physics. Not every movement is known as velocity, but moving in right direction, certain direction is velocity. Otherwise, it will remain as a scalar. Means displacement. Move from one place to another. Aimless movement called Brownian movement. Chemistry. The colloidal particles, they are in Brownian motion. Brownian motion means no direction. Like this, all the way. So then, what do you do? If the colloidal particles are Brownian motion, you add some coagulant. Chemistry people, chemical engineering, coagulant. What coagulant is? All these directionless moving particles will be brought together by force. The negative charge is neutralized by the positive charge, and all the small particles come together and they become flow. And when they become bigger enough, they naturally settle by the gravity. But until then, what we are doing? Broken all over the place. So that's why whatever has to be there, if it is not there, then what happens? It is not good. Kajal, except to the eyes, any part of the body or any place in the world, if you put, it is a nonsense, isn't it? Sometimes, if you put kajal black, only if you put to the eyes, it is called symbol of beauty, isn't it? Then what happens? Put it like this. What is it? Kajal? Very expensive kajal. Hey, it's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be here only, isn't it? So similarly, our bhakti gradual means it is moving in a particular direction, a desired direction. Doesn't matter what speed it is. At least you will go and reach that destination. So that's why karma should lead to guna, not the other way, isn't it? According to guna, we get karma, isn't it? You understand? According to guna, we do karma. But then the question is, what guna leads to what karma leads to guna, isn't it? See, this is very interesting. Guna leads to karma, and karma leads to gunas also. You getting the point? Gunas, your qualities lead to some activity, and your activity produces some qualities. So, the quality of the activity depends upon the gradient between the past qualities and the future qualities. What is the past qualities? Material qualities, sattva guna, raja guna and tamo guna. And what is the future qualities? Yasyasti bhakti bhagavati akinchina sarvai gunais tatra samasate sura. That guna that you practice, that you get by practicing bhakti, they are godly qualities. They are not these material gunas which lead to your occupational. You understand? So then what happens? We gradually become to the perfection. Otherwise, even if you have full knowledge, but if you are not utilizing, what happens? What happens? It becomes very disturbance, very much disturbance to the society. That's why it is said that vidyam vivadaya. If you are very knowledgeable, if you are not distributing that knowledge or not practicing knowledge, what happens? It simply leads to debates. If you see some scholarly people, if they are lacking some, compassion to distribute that knowledge, what happens? They use their knowledge only to debate, isn't it? To prove how great they are. Vidyam vivadaya shakti parapedanaya. If someone is very strong, if he is not a devotee, then what happens? His energy or his shakti is only meant for parapidana. Parapidana means only troubling others. Isn't it? Shakti parapidanaya, vidyam vivadaya, then dhanam madaya. Dhanam madaya means if you have money, but if you are not very charitably disposed, what happens? It simply increases your mada. Mada means pride. That means very pride. So this verse, in summary, we have discussed many points. So what we understand here, summarizing. So what is the meaning of humility in this context? Humility means even upon knowing everything, still consulting others. Consulting others, that is the humility of Rishabhadeva. That can only be expressed only when you are Sakala Dharma Viditra. That means a person can become humble only when he knows the entire subject. Until then, we become humble 10%, 20%, 30%. And you know, when you become completely humble, when you become 100% Krishna conscious, you naturally become very humble. So this is why it's called Sakala Dharma Viditra. Then we talked about this confidential aspect of the Vedas. What is the confidential aspect of the Vedas? Yes, Bhakti. How did you get it? Just by our endeavor to continuously trying, so that then what happens? Whoever has written that, they will come and reveal that to you. So it should be by revelation. Bhakti should always be through revelation, not through acquirement. Not through acquirement. Then we talked about what is service and what is devotional service. So devotional service is a directional element, that is a vector, because it moves in certain direction. And service is only punya. It will only displace you from one janma to another janma in a very pious life. Then, how do we move gradually? How do we move gradually? How do we keep moving gradually? Not stopping what we are practicing. Itself is the gradual movement. That means whether you move sometimes fast or not, but don't stop your practices. This is the point. So, I would like to stop here. It is exactly, that is 5 minutes faster. Today when we came from Mangalarati, it was 5 minutes faster. Is it, how much is time? 8:32. 8:32. That is 8:38. Maybe Pujaris have to change the clock.
Darshanavati also happened 5 minutes.
Yeah. 5 minutes early, isn't it? Yeah. Because that is the time seen by the Pujaris. But our morning Pujari was right on time, means she did not follow that time. She followed the actual time. Anyway, that means what we see, even though it is a clock, a standard clock, it's not always correct. That's why Sadhu, Guru, Shastra, all are very important. So, we have clock in the altar, clock in the paraphernalia room, and clock somewhere else also. Those who are pujaris, they know. Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. If this clock is wrong, go to that clock to see whether the time is correct. If no clock is working, then check your own mobile. That cannot be wrong, isn't it? Because that's through satellite and everything. That's through satellite. You can never say that what is there in the clock is right. No. There is a right time also. Okay? So any questions?
Prabhuji, I have a question. Thank you for the class. When we were talking about Viruddha's Swabha, and particularly in the case of devotees meeting non-devotees, and you mentioned that it will happen when we are supposed to meet. But in the practical life, can you explain a little bit more, how do we manage ourselves in, practical examples? What did you mean by that?
Okay. Krishna explains in 3.26. He says, a devotee, when he meets these people who are attached to these fruits of the activities, even for example, a non-devotee, so how to behave that? How to behave that aspect? So Krishna says, you do your part and demonstrate that all your activities are actually surrendered to Krishna. So by example, we teach them. By example, we teach them. And Krishna says in 3.26, as not to disturb the people who are attached to the material activity. This is the word he uses. As not to disturb. So then what happens? See, disturbance is not good either in material life or spiritual life. Because disturbance simply distracts, isn't it? Everyone can easily be distracted, isn't it? How? If there is a slight disturbance, get distracted, isn't it? This is a very important thing. That's why we should make sure that we are not very disturbed. You know, interestingly, we never become disturbed by ourselves. We only become disturbed by others. Have you ever seen? We never become. There is no called self-disturbance. Self-disturbance is there is nothing. Chilly. You know, you just no one disturbs you. So you don't disturb you. Who will disturb you? Others will disturb you. When others will disturb you, when you disturb others, they will disturb. See, this is a very scientific thing. See, no one wants to disturb themselves, isn't it? Everyone wants to chill. Just be ourselves. Then who will get disturbed? Someone has to disturb other than himself, isn't it? Yeah. Then when he disturbs others. It depends upon whether he disturbs you alone or 10 other people. It's up to his capacity.
Like that round.
Yeah, exactly. See, all are well versed with chemistry. You understand? So what we have to learn ourselves is make sure that we are not associated with people who are disturbed. Then the question is, if they are disturbed, then what should we do? What should you do? It will give opportunity to take shelter of Krishna very seriously. That actually manifests the strength of your devotion, isn't it? This is a Viruddha Swabhava. You trying to understand? See, Krishna brings his mercy in the meaning of Viruddha Swabhava. Suppose if Krishna wants you to become number one student in the class, what he will do? How you become number one student? You can only become number one student only when all other members in the class are useless. Isn't it? You understand this part? Very important. So that means you can only become number one in the association of others who other than number one. Isn't it? So actually it has a very deep spiritual realizing potency that we should never be hesitant to face the challenges. And Krishna actually comes in the form of these challenges so that our own alankaras are manifested. Our own alankaras, the ornaments are manifested. Then they know how great you are. This is the very purpose of Krishna giving challenges to devotees, to tell the world that, oh, see how great my devotees are. So many times people ask, oh Prabhu, how Pandavas are getting so many problems, this way, that way. Hey, Pandavas are getting so many problems because they are not disturbed. Krishna is showing to the world how great his devotees are. Even in the midst of difficult situations, they are always taking my shelter. See, Krishna is not demonstrating to the world that even if I am there, they are free from trouble. No. Even if they are in difficult situations, they are still taking my shelter. This is the message he wants to convey. This is the message he wants to convey. So, when we meet with materialistic people, by providence when we come in their association, we keep our devotion very strong. This is considered the mercy of Krishna. This is considered the mercy of Krishna. Then when something is mercy of Krishna, you look after very nicely. Prasada, in Sanskrit, it's called mercy, isn't it? Prasada means mercy. When there is prasada, then you take it. When we get Mahaprasada, we nicely distribute to people. So prasada is kept carefully. Whether it is karela sabji or paneer sabji. That's why when we bring Mahaprasada, if we have 100 items, they will have nice, selection shopping. Take this item, that item. Everything is prasada. Any other question? We stop at 8:45, so 5 more minutes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, please.
I'm Shalendra online.
Oh, Shailendra Prabhu, online.
Thank you for the class.
Yes.
This slok and the previous sloks glorifies Rishabdev, that he followed the Vanaprastha ashrams or ashrams as per the Brahman's instructions. So he followed the instructions, Vanaprastha ashrams and all that he followed. So that was initially at one end. At the other end of his life, he went against Ved, he went against Brahmins, and he formed Jainism. So was he right in the early days, or was he wrong in the later days? Or was he wrong in the early days and right in the later days? What's your opinion?
Very good question. Nothing is wrong and right until you achieve your final destination, isn't it? Try to understand this point. Until you achieve the final destination, nothing can be said what is right and what is wrong. You may be going very nicely, but if you haven't reached destination, your journey was not perfect. And you did some mistakes. That doesn't mean that your journey was bad, provided you achieve the destination. So what is the destination? The destination for every jiva is to become Paramahamsa. What is the meaning of Paramahamsa? Tatha Paramahamsanam Muninam Amaratmanam Bhakti Yoga Vidananam Katam Pashyanahi Striya. Who is Paramahamsa? A pure devotee of Krishna is known as Paramahamsa. This title has to be used very selectively. Just because we know somebody, we can't use Paramahamsa title. Paramahamsa is a very important title. It is used only to address great Mahabhaktas. Tatha Paramahamsa. So Rishabhadev, yes, he followed Kshatriya Dharma in this verse. He followed Kshatriya Dharma. What is Kshatriya Dharma? Following the advice of Brahmanas is the Kshatriya Dharma. Then he transcended. What is the transcendence? He actually given up Brahmana Dharma, Kshatriya Dharma, everything. But finally, he is beyond all the Varnashrama, isn't it? Varnashrama is, what is that Varnashrama? In the three modes of material nature. Then when you transcend the modes of material nature, then that is pure devotion. Then, yes, he was right and he was wrong. So that means, from your question, because Rishabhadeva attained this Paramahamsa, Avadhuta stage, whatever he has done is right. Whatever he has done is right. In the case of Maharaj Vena, even though he is the father of great Ritu Maharaj, and he was the son of a great personality, that doesn't qualify him to be a good person in that sense, isn't it? Because his last achievement is not good. So yes, following the Brahmanas, sense control, mind control, everything is good, because Rishabhadeva demonstrated that this is the course of life one has to achieve. But not to imitate it. Try to understand. Not to imitate. Not to imitate. So we only have to follow it. What is the meaning of following? Taking the essence of the activity is a secret. How do you take the essence? Sometimes, these days they make a kheer with lot of flavors. Before that we only used to put ilachi in the kheer. You can put vanilla also, I have seen vanilla kheer,
lychee kheer, strawberry kheer, blueberries. Yes, I have seen many kheers with all these fruits. Then sometimes you don't know what is the flavor. Then what do? You go and ask the cook, what is the flavor? Ah, this is that. Oh, yeah. So what does it mean? Why I am telling this? It's the essence. So you cannot imitate. Just because you found some pieces of lychee and this one strawberry, you put it in the kheer, it will get spoiled. If you want to get flavor, go and ask. Don't imitate. Do not imitate Rishabhadeva. Why you cannot imitate? The end product won't be same, Prabhu. What is the end product? When Rishabhadeva became Paramahamsa, he was passing stool and urine at the same place, like Ajagara means like a python provision. But his stool was better than sandalwood paste. That because the fragrance can be felt by many yojanas. So now it is a test for all of us whether we have become Paramahamsa. Prabhupada mentions in one of the class, just by fecal testing, not by sending the lab. Fecal testing we can understand whether we are Paramahamsa or not. That's why cow is very, very important. Because cow's stool, once cow dung, is used to anoint Krishna's Divya Mangala Vigraha. Can you imagine how pure it is? Krishna's body is pure. Can you imagine we take cow dung, a stool of an animal, and anointing Krishna with that? That is the purity. Cow is natural Paramahamsa. Isn't it? Natural Paramahamsa, cow is. So yes, whatever Rishabhadeva did, all good. Okay, we should end the class. It's 8:45. So please come and enjoy nice prasadam. Thank you very much. Grantha Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai.
Jai,
Radha ki jai.
Jai, Hari
Hari
Bol.
Hari Bol. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna devotees, don't forget to take prasadam. Bhakti starts from the prasadam.
Yes, 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 we are waiting for that.
Online devotees can say that.